I always wanted to write. In college, I went to Wharton. I walked across the campus and took creative writing as a minor. Guess which my parents preferred. Anyway, children, wives, careers interfered. Had no time. So when I retired and I was able to do it, I said, write? Write about what? That started it. I went to conferences. I had a short story published. I met authors. I committed to write at one of the conferences. And then one day I was out in the snow, literally, picking up the paper, and a neighbor drove by on his way to work. We waved at one another, and bam, I had this idea in my head. I almost froze solid standing there in the snow. I guess everyone has had moments like that. I thought I could write about an adult, a middle-aged guy who becomes an amateur sleuth, who lives a life full of joys and contradictions, just like the rest of us. So I sat down. Over the next few weeks, churned out 70 pages of mystery and romance. Wow, I said. And then I read the words out loud, and half the words described the other half. The action started on page 14. All my characters sounded like Oxford professors. They're all beginner mistakes. I know that now. I mean, this is nothing new for RWA people. But I didn't realize it then. If I'd realized it all at once, it might have frightened me into taking up golf. Anyway, that's how I got started. I got into groups, writing groups, which are essential. I found myself a really fine editor at the Writing Center in Englewood, which also helped. And then I submitted a pretty good manuscript to 13 literary agents and one small publisher. One of the agents actually asked for an exclusive, a 6-week exclusive in the whole manuscript, but I won the publisher's writing contest. And I was, she grabbed me and signed me up. I think the first book took me about 1.5 years because it was partly on-the-job training. There are 3 done in my Reluctant Sleuth series. The third book took me 6 months. I mean, it just poured right out. What happens is I start thinking of an idea, and then I'll wake up at night with video running in my head. And if I get something wrong, the characters wake me up talking to me. I know in book 1, which was Say Goodbye, Gary, who's a middle-aged guy who's lost his wife the year before, meets Becca, who's a nurse, also a grown-up. He's wearing a wedding ring to preserve the memories of his last marriage. She's wearing a wedding ring for defense. She doesn't want to have anything to do with men. Not easy for those two to get together. But I was wrestling with plot in the middle of the night. And it could have gone either way until Gary strode into my dream. And he was a little bit pissed off. And he made his wishes very clear. I'd been warned. So I took his advice. And it worked, evidently.